All right, howdy fishing freaks, welcome back to the channel. So I spent the last couple of days just taking some time to spend with the family, OSG, reflecting on the birth of Jesus Christ and all the great things that he's provided. And honestly, this Christmas has been kind of weird. I just came back from Mexico. There was a lot of unexpected things happening in the last part of this year. So me and OSG just said, you know what, this year, let's not get each other anything of monetary value. Let's just share some special things, and let's not get into that whole hoopla of getting all these gifts and all that. But I did get two really cool special family gifts I wanted to share with you guys before we get into today's video, heading back to more Mexico action. One of the things is I got a custom made stag handle knife. This is something I've wanted for a super long time. Old school man gift, but it's awesome. It's like a boning, skinning knife. It's got a bass on it right there. Let me get a close up for you guys. Get in on that action. Look at that. Oh yeah. I've just always wanted a knife like that, and that's all handmade right here in the good old US of A. And I gave my dad for Christmas a trip down to Lake Comadero because he's been saying, son, that's so awesome, man. I want to go on one of those trips with you one day. And we've been on some really cool trips in the past couple of years, but this one's going to be ultra special. So I highly recommend, if you got a family member that loves fishing that you want to treat to a special experience, book it with Ron Speed's Adventures down there because they treat you like a king and the fishing is off the chain. Second thing I got is really special. It's a belt. Y'all check this out right here. I'm not going to do anything weird, I promise. Get in on this right here. Look at that bass belt, okay? It's got LFG on it. And look at this. Make every cast count. That's right. This was made by Mark Hurley, a retired professional cowboy, and he's from around my hometown. And he makes custom leather goods. Doesn't really make belts. There was a fishing freak that worked for him, found out I wanted a belt, and voila. This is obviously a special slogan to me. I know you guys love it, but it's ultra special to me too. This year's been crazy. It gave me an extra special focus on fishing and life, and you know, it means a lot to me. So I'm gonna be sporting that all year. Gonna be catching some Mondos. The fresh smell of quality leather. Be a good old Texas Mondo bass with a big old leather. Awesome belt. Got this thing going on. Look at me. It's like I'm living in the 1800s down here. Just got my old stuff out there catching bass. Anyways, enough of that. Let's get into today's video. Now, I did a little disclaimer here. The weather on today's video was absolutely atrocious. I had to bag up a lot of camera gear. I didn't end up filming with my DSLR very much, and I actually lost some of the footage. Stuff kind of got wet. It's me and Ron Speed Jr. going fishing today, and I had some tidbits from Ron Speed Jr., which is the son of Ron Speed, who originally brought the Florida strain bass down to Lake Comadero, actually flew in the fingerlings and helped stock the lake and boost the genetics into the stratosphere of where they got just giants. He started fishing at this lake when he was 10 years old. They stocked these Florida strain bass in there. He came back like 4 or 5 years later. There were giants, like 8, 9, and in the first 30 minutes he had a 45-pound sack. They said, we have got to start getting some people down here to experience this fishing. So he knows just about every spot on this lake. The lake fluctuates about 100 feet in water level every year. It's changing all the time. The bass are huge. I'm done ranting. Let's get into the video. Oh, let's go get in their wheelhouse. What we've been doing a lot this week with these spinner baits is kind of setting up on these points and throwing across them. That way we're hitting the honey juice. Well, I just saw a tilapia. Get up in there.
Go down till she hits some brush. Start banging it.
What's our depth here? 30 something?
Right on the
Got him first cast.
net fish.
Nope. Just a good one. We're gonna get the school fired here. First cast of the morning with Ron Speed Jr. himself. Look at that. Yeah, he just thumped it like a champ. There we go, good. Total bien. Oh, sorry. Almost caught you. Está bien? Okay. There goes that fish. That's a good way to start it. Oh yeah. Get in there and get dirty. Get in that some of that brush where them big hogs live. Well, don't get in there too far. Come on. I made a boo-boo. I got home. Make sure our line is good because we don't want old Mondo saying bye-bye on us. Another one at the bottom. A little bit better, possibly. Had a couple head shakes, no. Right on the bottom. Yes, sir.
You said you wanted to get right to business.
I wanted to get right down to the business with the old spinnerbait. Yes, sir. Another one about the same size. Nice. Very good. This is just a real, you gotta have it slow and hitting the cover to get them good ones to come grab it. And it is a fun bite when they take it. First cast with a jig. As soon as it hit the bottom, man. Boom! Yes, sir. Thank you, Ron. Oh, yeah, baby. Put that big old 1 ounce jig in his face. Got to freaking love it.
That's a long fish there.
He needs to go eat a couple of tilapias. Yeah, there we go.
That's nice.
Nice fish. All right. Dang, I think we've been here 5 minutes and, you know, we've got 15 pounds of fish. That one just tore that jig apart, man. Ron said, hey, I think there's a nice tree down there. Why don't you flip it out about 10 feet, see what happens. Dong. Hooked up on Rembrandt. Look at it there in the background. It always pays off. A good little chunk here. This fish is just fat. Oh yeah, he ate that spinnerbait too. Ate it good. I've noticed switching to this softer rod, switching to the medium heavy big sexy, they suck it in a little bit better. I was fishing that heavy whitebird, wasn't getting as good of suction from those Mondos. Good fish, thank you. Biggest ever?
Yeah.
What was it?
9.
Let me pause right here to explain some of these conditions to you guys. Dropping in the barometric pressure, always a good thing for fishing. And throwing those spinnerbaits, having that cloud cover, having that low light conditions, and just those clouds starting to sink down, even though we were starting to get wet, good things are happening right there. So, got to give a shout out to my boy John B right here at this moment. He had just caught his biggest bass ever. I think it was like a 9.8 or 9.11. Anyway, it was over 9.5 pounds. Caught it on that spinnerbait, slow rolling it just like we were in the treetops. Same kind of area. We were fishing around the same kind of stuff. So big bass are being caught. Atta boy. I got a bite. Hey now. You got any friends? They are swarming?
Yep.
I thought I might have saw something. Okay. Nice one there. That's a chunk. There's one. That one's got some bend in it. Head shakes. Yep. Oh yeah, you might want to be ready. There's a boil. There's the old slobber tooth, biggin' baby. Oh yeah, I see you trying to shake that sucker. Yeah, baby. Gordo. There's a nice one. That one's probably around 7.
What scale on?
We could take a little evidence.
7.9
7.9.
something.
7.9. Yeah, baby. Oh, that's worth a good sniff. Oh, yeah. All right. See ya, sugar. Whoop. Show you guys how this screw lock works putting on these trailers. If you've ever fished a bait that has one of these, some people get a little confused when you try to rig these up. So I want to rig it on. I like to rig my grub's tail down on my spinner baits. And then all you got to do right here is start twisting. Your plastic's going to kink up over the hook, but you just have to turn the tail around that hook point as the base of the trailer is going around that screw lock. And that is not coming off. You catch a lot of fish without having to change that. Starting to get a little bit of drizzle on this water. This is my favorite time to be throwing a spinnerbait. And it's usually when those big ones like to eat.
Ooh, look at those sad flakes.
Come on, big girl. Oh, golly, hooked up. Maybe. Right in those shad slicks. Yeah, we'll net it so we don't screw up our spinnerbait here. Another fat one. Ooh, hey. Welcome to Comandero, folks. Oh, absolutely ate that spinnerbait. Like it was a little candy corn. See ya, baby. I don't know if you guys can see these slick spots, but it's from some of that oil coming off of the shad or the tilapia when they eat those bait fish. When it's calm like that, you can see them. The oil doesn't mix with water and kind of makes a little slick spot. You can smell them shad. It smells sweet, like a watermelon julep. Just one of those pesky 6 or 7s.
It's so weird. It's so weird fishing.
Oh, what a fish, what a fish. Nice. I'll get it. Let me put my hands on it, sniff it.
Smell it.
Yeah.
That's a long bass there. She had a gut, she'd be 8.
All right, Justin, hold it up real quick. That's it.
Always good to get an extra sniff in. All right, it is about to start raining, so we gotta put you away. Don't even get wet. I'm trying to remember the name for rain in Spanish. Lluvia. Lluvia. That is rain. Lluvia. Lluvia mucho. Coming your way. See you in a little bit. Well, rain's still here and it's strong. Pause for another moment. Andrew Flair. He had the most incredible day out of everybody, I believe, on this afternoon fishing with Denny Brower. You should go check out his video. He wasn't feeling so good that day. He went out and had an incredible afternoon, breaking his PB like 3 times. Denny, being an experienced pro, he just went up, started throwing a spinnerbait around the bank, knowing that some fish might be moving up. So at the same time, we were fishing like 100 yards away from him, doing that same kind of thing, going more towards the bank instead of fishing offshore. And the big ones were being caught, but they caught like 20 fish over 5 pounds that afternoon. Pretty solid stuff. Shout out to Andrew Flair for breaking his PB. fish. The old spinnerbait in the dead rain. Jeez, they toad. Nice fish right there. That's probably an 8-pounder. It says 7-11, but I saw it went over 8 for a minute.
See, they two twice.
7-14, just a hair shy of an oak. And I think Flair or Denny Brower just caught a giant right across from us. We're about 100 yards or so away from us. There's some big fish going on right now. See ya. Oh yeah, nice fish. Another one about the same. Big one. All right. That was pretty much right by the boat. Not as big as I thought. Oh my! Up in the shallows. First saw its head, I was like, oh no, that's a giant. Just a healthy one though. Good fish. I just threw my spinner bait up. Very shallow water. I got a little bite and got hung and then I threw back in there. Look all the bushes. It's just low pressure, obviously. We're soaked. We're digging this low pressure, starting to feed up a little bit. Another fish on the spinnerbait. It's raining like crazy out here. And Ron just got broke off by a giant on a spinnerbait. So after a few more fish catches and getting just absolutely soaked and everybody crushing fish that afternoon, we had to go in, but I really did get a cool story from Ron. But he had this fish on one time on the lake. He said was 34 inches long. Now he gets to look at big bass all the time. He's caught over 110-pound bass being able to fish all these special lakes in Mexico. But this one time, this is his one that got away story. He hooked into this fish on a spinnerbait. He had it close to the boat, had it right there, was able to see it. 34 inches long, and it was fat. It had to have beaten the world record bass. The world record bass is 22 pounds and 4 ounces, I believe. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that's accurate. This fish would have been probably easily 24 or 25 pounds at that length and that girth at that time of year. He had let a buddy of his tie his knot for him after the action was hot. They were catching fish, losing some baits. Said, "Have one of them things on there for me, bud." Hooks that mondo bass, gets close to the boat, makes another surge, and pops the line. An absolutely heartbreaking story, but the point is, a world record is in that lake. They have big tilapia to eat. There's shad in there. The genetics are off the chain. They have almost a year-round growing season. You're talking about a 3 or 4 year old bass being, you know, 6, 7, 8 pounds. A 5-year-old bass almost certainly being close to a double digit out there. And it doesn't get a whole lot of pressure. So needless to say, I've heard these kinds of stories from multiple people that have fished down there quite a bit. They've had giants on that they're just not, they don't even know how big. They thought it might be a world record. It's gotten off. Reminds me of like old school Lake Fork back in the day when it was just full of trees and people were being broke off all the time and there was giant bass being reported all the time. Anyway, special place. I can't wait to go back, and I am gonna go back with my dad eventually, and I'm of course gonna take you guys along for the adventure. And congratulations to all the other boys down there. I'm pretty sure everyone in the Guggen squad broke their PB on this day when it was low pressure and just getting crazy. So that is going to do it for today's video, Fishing Freaks. Make sure you keep tuned in, keep it locked right here for more action. Got a lot of things heading your way. We're almost done with the Mexico series. Then we're gonna start heading into the new year. We're gonna start talking about fishing. We're gonna go on a hunt with OSG. A lot of things happening. And we're almost approaching the January downslide on the YouTubes, Fishing Freaks, so make sure you support this channel by checking out the merch. But I'm not gonna stop doing my thing, Fishing Freaks, so keep it locked right here to support the channel. Love you guys. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. We'll see you very soon.